Well, this is a big match for both Brisbane and Parramatta. Live ladder has them both outside the top 8 with a win last night by the Tigers. And form scratchy for Parramatta. Brisbane were travelling okay until last week against the Titans. They want to bounce straight back. Parramatta embarrassed by the Sharks, and that has been pointed out to them by their coach. So I'm expecting both these teams to rip in tonight in round 14 of the Telstra Premiership, our Super Saturday on Fox League. This match can also be watched on channel 444 in 4K, of course. Broncos and Eagles from Bankwest Stadium, where Parramatta have produced some big results this year. Just the one defeat, but some big scorelines they racked up against the Tigers. First up 51-6, that was back in round 6. Then 32 points against the Dragons in round 8. Racked up 26 against the Rabbitohs in round 12. I'm joined in commentary by Greg Alexander, Mark Gasnier. What's your last thought on this one, Gaz?
Good evening, Bossy. Good evening, everyone that's viewing this telecast. Well, the Eels, when they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're bad. You'd think here at Bankwest, given they have won 3 of their past 4 games here, they will be good. The Brisbane Broncos, I thought they turned a corner their last month of football, but I thought they took a step backwards last week against the Titans.
Yeah, they were slow out of the blocks, the Broncos. One of their first 6 games. 1 win out of their first 6. But you're right, Gaz. They have been better over the last month and a bit, but beaten by the Gold Coast on the Gold Coast last week as the Broncos make their way out. And there's not much middle ground with the Eels. You're right, they've been very good or they've been poor. So a more consistent performance Brad Arthur would be looking for, and they were ordinary last week against the Sharks. So I think they'll be ready to come and win this game. But can they do it and get over the top of the Broncos? That's a question.
First trip to Bankwest Stadium for the Brisbane Broncos. Their last 2 trips out of Queensland have not been good. In fact, conceding big scores against the Roosters and the Rabbits. Looking forward again to seeing Payne Haas in action. 8 days away from a second State of Origin appearance, you would assume. Now the Parramatta Eels, this quite unique walkout from deep underneath the stand on the western side of Bankwest Stadium. They started the year with back-to-back wins, and since then there's been no such luck. Their form is all over the place.
Yeah, and if they're looking for someone, and as Brad Arthur said to his team after the Sharks loss, they need to harden up. Well, that's the man that just might provide them with something. Nathan Brown, coming off the bench last week after he's only played 2 games so far this season. I think he'll add plenty to the middle of the field of the Eels.
So the Eels' record this year is 6-7. The Broncos at 5-7. They've had 1 bye on the board. The Eels are 3 from 4 here at their new home ground. I think this can be good tonight. Enjoy it. Super Saturday on Fox League. Kick-off at Bankwest Stadium. Parramatta versus the Brisbane Broncos. And Brisbane to have first use of the ball, and it is Boyd and Lodge who carries back. And the first carry of the game, 9 metres out from their own line. Brisbane, rookie hooker in Turpin, rookie halfback in O'Sullivan, but obviously some experience around them in the likes of Boyd and Milford. And Haas is on the run here. Some big hombres up front tonight when you've got Paulo, Kane Evans, opposed to Haas and Lodge. Pangai wearing the 13 tonight for Brisbane, played by Gillett. Now Turpin, and Lodge goes on another run. And an offload, a little bit of risk in it. Ball bounced free and allowed to continue. And tackle number 5. The Broncos have made it up to their red line. And Milford kicking from inside that zone. A little bit of fizz on the ball. It's gone through the hands and the legs, I think, of Ferguson. I think the replay will confirm that he's missed it with the hands, and it's an old-fashioned nutmeg.
Well, yeah, they live to fight another day after that error from Ferguson, but he has become a specialist at that, Anthony Milford, with the inverted spiral. So hard to take. Whoa. I think it might have touched a hand. I think he got a touch on that.
Touched the hand and did go through the legs. You see something new every weekend on Fox League.
Release, man! Wait, go for
Not the best shot of Blake. Parramatta with the ball back over the 30-metre line. On this Saturday night, a little bit of rain about just in the last half an hour. As Moses kicks and is hit by Pengai, who's had some issues in that department previously. Boyd will bring it back. Crowd unhappy with the challenge on Moses. Broncos start the set 30 away from their own line. That's Strundy, that's the tackle. Wasn't in mid-air. The penalty here in the meantime to Brisbane. They'd won 4 of 5, and then the Titans' performance was a bitter disappointment for them, for their coach and their fans. Real momentum killer.
Well, they did have a setback. Dearden had to leave the field. Jake Turpin actually come up and played halfback. Luckily, they had Andrew McCulloch returning from a 3-week stint on the bench. He saved the day in that regard. But the Eels, if there's one area they need to improve, it is their defence.
So Brisbane on the restart. Milford along. Sullivan. We want to see, we got to see that one game with the Roosters last year against the Titans in round 18. Scored a try in a competent performance as Fafita's tackled. 25 away, almost offloaded, always a handful. Quick play the ball, and now there's pressure on the Parramatta defence. Staggs took off for 10 metres. What a chance this is. Milford, and they're deciding to step and run. Oh, Gutherson was there as last line of defence. This is tough for Parramatta. As O'Sullivan with it, he'll run as well. O'Sullivan spinning to within 2 metres of the line. Last play, Turpin now. Double pump, then a deflection, and then Milford's kick. Gutherson's there. The King, he looks after the in-goal area there with ease.
Yeah, well positioned there, Clint Gutherson. Anthony Milford has been very good at getting the ball into the in-goal area off the back of their sets. Parramatta under the pump. Broncos threw plenty at them.
I like it from the Broncos, though. I'd just love to see someone off O'Sullivan's hip or Milford's hip, because if you play back through the middle of the Eels, it's only a matter of time. Look at that.
Yes, Turpin and Staggs absolutely iron out Brown there. Now an offload back for Gutherson. So the signs are good early. Parramatta 10 metres inside their own half. And Moses under a little bit of kick pressure again from the big figure, Pengai. What a kick down to Boyd, 10 metres out from his own line. They're back to help. Asako's with it. And Shibasaki on his outside. That's interesting little positional battle tonight. The two centres for Brisbane, Shibasaki and Staggs, 20 years of age. The two centres for Parramatta, 31 years of age. And Hoffman, a former Broncos player of the year as Brisbane. Oh, I don't know what really happened there, because Corey Oates ended up on the deck rolling about.
Well, Oates tripped as he went to catch the ball. He got a touch on it, but they said it was backwards, so the Broncos do hang on. They haven't gone very far in this set. It's been a good defensive effort so far. Just look at Oates, wanted to change it of angle. We've seen plenty of referees call that a knock-on in the past.
And that's what Nathan Brown brings, a lot of line speed, up in your face.
Sivo back on the end of that kick, not the longest we've seen from the Broncos. Slow play the ball, 15 inside their own half. Crowd nice and vocal early, looking to contribute maybe to their team getting a penalty. Mo on this run. Inside the Brisbane half they go, the Eels. And looking to find their groove. Brown with it. Turpin over the top, even though he came off the bench last week on return. He topped the running metres among the Parramatta forwards. Paulo on this run. And Fafita around his legs. Marnie to the right side. Last tackle, another kick from Moses, not his highest. Oates is underneath it. Oates has lost it forward. Well, he never looked totally committed to that one. It was out in front of him. As bombs go, it certainly wasn't a terrorising kick by Moses.
No, he just didn't get himself in a good position to take the ball.
All right, let's get him in. Let's go, boys.
Just turned his body, made it awkward for himself. Couple of moments that he'd like over. Corey Oates, drop ball, drop pass, now drop kick.
Let's go. All right, 10 seconds, let's start forming.
55th meeting between these clubs. Eels have won 21, Broncos have won 32. There's been one draw. Parramatta threatening to score the opening points here. Gutherson off the scrum. Big bodies outside the scrum as we become accustomed to. Evans 5 metres away from the line. Marnie out of dummy half, and there's another one of them. Paulo, the ground is shaking. Paulo has found the earth. Possibly with the football, which is the most critical aspect. Hasn't scored a try in a long, long time. Junior Paulo.
He was in a great position to make a call on that Henry Perenara. He's gone try.
30 games without one, Brandy. Paulo.
Well, he just kept the legs pumping, didn't he,
Looking
Paulo?
to confirm the ball gets to the ground.
Henry Perenara has said try on field, so if the vision doesn't show us anything, they will stay with that decision.
The front-on shot showed that it was above the ground, but still, I'm with you, Brandy. If they've given it a try on field, at some stage you would have to say.
Unless...
See, they hold him up there.
Gaz, unless it's conclusive that he doesn't get it down, and I thought there might be too many legs and arms and bodies in the road.
It's very dark there, isn't it? We can't shed any light. We can't go in any other angle to prove if it's a try there.
But from what you've seen, do you think the ball made it to the ground?
I'd have to say
From what
no.
you've seen.
Well, if they set it up no try, then
Based on the angles available, the live decision of try will be supported.
There we go.
that's the process.
You can't argue with. Junior Paulo, he's got so many strings to his game. We've seen him throw cutout passes down the short side, out the back of a decoy play. He plays nice and short. He offloads through the line, but he also does this. Just a bullocking, bulldozing run. Such a big man, so fit and agile for his size. Just sheer determination. Challenges the opposition physically. There's 3 in there. Make that 4. And they still can't stop him. Good start from Parramatta.
The initial contact there was made by Matt Gillett. Now, there's a big difference between the weight between Paulo and Matt Gillett, and the other Brisbane players just couldn't get themselves in a position, Payne Haas and also Tavita Pangai, to assist Gillett.
And Moses from close range, so Parramatta off and running here. Brisbane had an early chance, but 7.5 minutes in. Parramatta 6, Brisbane 0. Andy Raymond on the sideline.
And David Fifita off under the HIA ruling already. Jaden Sewer has come onto the field. Now, Vossi, Anthony Seibold's sides usually warm up strictly in the dressing rooms, apart from the kickers and the back 3 who briefly practice on the field. Tonight, to give the Broncos a feel for the venue, they warmed up on the field for the entirety. Like all of us, footballers are creatures of habit. This first 10 minutes really interesting. Their routine, just a little out.
Brisbane with a kick that was allowed to bounce and then has gone sideways a couple of times, and that allows Brisbane chasers to get through on Hoffman.
Well, I hope they get Fifita back. I hope he passes that HIA, because I just feel like he's about to break out Fifita off the back of Origin. His 2 weeks leading up to Origin. Such a talent.
Here's another run from Paulo. So, no Tim Manor anymore. The rotation works around Paulo, Evans, and then Terapo Gower coming on. Up in the front row. That time caught by Gillett down low. Pangai up high. Parramatta back to the 40 in quick time. Gutherson short to Lane, who's been a consistent figure on the edge for Parramatta every game this year. Last tackle, Marnie up off the deck for Moses, exclusively kicking. No sign of Jamin Salmon early. That one sails down to Osako, the slightest of bobbles. And the defence, the chase was right on the money. So improvement already from Parramatta from last week. There needed to be. Shibasaki tackled there. 6th game for the year. And in the centres for a 4th time. Brisbane 15 inside their own half. Jennings almost conceded a penalty. Lodge has got another run. And does well. Post-contact metres there from Lodge. Still adding some territory and gets a penalty as well. It's a big result for the Broncos front rower.
Yeah, that's costly. 4th tackle penalty. Milford finds touch deep in Parramatta territory.
Wait.
Been good early, Lodge.
Very strong. Now for Haas with those socks down. Tackle 130 from the Parramatta line. 9.5 minutes into this game, 3 of Super Saturday on Fox League. O'Sullivan. Nicely up to the line. Good tackle, low down one. Gillett there. Now quickly with Turpin. Straightens up. Pengai through the centre. Brown. Oh, ball's been lost. Knocked down by Parrott. Flick pass. Oh, well, you can do it an easy way. They found a hard way. Salmon comes up with a ball. Could you have that moment over again, Brisbane?
Yeah, just too much pressure on Sean O'Sullivan there. Jake Turpin looking to flick the ball back on the inside. The offload from Lodge, well, it was just knocked out of his hands, and then he asked a lot of the halfback there, didn't he? Jake Turpin with the flick.
Would have had another set. So Parramatta in possession outside their 30. And Ferguson has come in from the wing. Did make over 200 metres last week. I don't know whether he actually played the ball there. Marnie steals 10 metres. As a result, this time Parramatta get the penalty.
Yeah, and if there was a focus for the Brisbane Broncos leading into this match, it would be to limit the impact their back three has on the influence of their sets to 6. I mean, Ferguson, notorious for it. Makes plenty of metres, quick play the ball. Sevo as well, Gutherson as well.
Play cup in one.
All set inside the Brisbane half. And a wide ball there for Moses. They're going to use the width here. Salmon and Gutherson along for Jennings. Trying to take on Shibasaki there. Jennings, 144 career tries against Shibasaki, still looking for his first. Marnie nicely. Moses from right to left, now left to right for Hoffman. Bounced away there. Very expensive from Parramatta. Give the Broncos defence the runaround, or attempt to. Now Evans just dumps it off. Look at this again. This is wonderful from Parramatta. Sevo's got a shot and takes full advantage. I can't remember the last time I've seen any side go full width back the other way, full width the other way. And now they've got a result.
Through the strength of Maika Sevo, who just took on Asako. And you're right, Andrew. I can't remember a side that went shift, and then Sevo just too powerful for Jermaine Asako, who was backpedaling. Great ball movement from the Parramatta side.
We'll go 2 refs.
It's terrific stuff from them.
It was nice deception too. They made out as if Kane Evans was just going to have a hit up. And he put it to a flying Nathan Brown, who played out the back. Lane timed it to perfection off the edge, and that got O'Sullivan interested. It was automatic 3-on-2, but Gutherson did amazingly well. You see, though, he only needs half a metre. Already got 15 line breaks in 2019. Been a revelation. You weren't going to stop him from there.
Well, that's so entertaining, though.
Well, they had the whole side in motion.
Yeah,
on every play.
On
3
it wasn't
plays.
haphazard, it was planned.
So they asked questions right across the field because they had players squaring up and going to the defensive line, and that kept the Broncos in tight. They couldn't slide hard, which isolated, in the end, it isolated Asako.
Well, our little camera rover on Fox League, he ran out of petrol following that one set. He's called it quits. Andy Raymond on the sideline. What an incredible passage from Parramatta.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, a lot of it goes down to this young man, Jamin Salmon, back at 6. What it does, it gives the Eels a more rolling halves presence as opposed to stationary halves when Will Smith was partnering Mitchell Moses. Halves that receive the ball on the run and continue to run as opposed to being flat-footed. A lot of things to work on this young man's game, but there's a huge upside to Jamin Salmon, running certainly at the top of the list.
It's his 9th game for the year, the 20-year-old. Deep kick-off, Parramatta 10-0 up against Brisbane. The bounce back from embarrassing against Cronulla. The scoreline at full-time flattered them with 3 late tries. Now Ferguson, Sunday ticket tomorrow too, great double. From Lotto Land, Manly versus the St George Illawarra Dragons. Our coverage will start at 1:30 local time. Both teams coming off wins. And that will be followed by the Roosters versus Canterbury at the SCG. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, once were Panther, making his Bulldogs debut. Sunday night with Matty Johns tomorrow night. David Klemmer, a rugby league nerd, on the show. He loves his football. A good chat with Matty Johns tomorrow night. Down for Corey Oates. Ma'u there to make the tackle. Reminder, we've got all the red games for you next weekend on Fox League on the Saturday, including New Zealand versus Tonga. Obviously, a lot of players out there tonight for a multitude of sides next weekend. Fiji in action, Samoa, Papua New Guinea, Lebanon getting a run. Paulo came reeling out of a tackle, holding the eye. Turpin away. Milford does the same. And Sewer on the run back. Sewer on for Fifita. Last tackle, Brisbane. Back it will go for Milford to bomb out towards Ferguson's side. Here comes Oates. Ferguson, he sized up the chasers and then made the take look very comfortable. Gutherson met front on by Oates. Not too critical of anything of what Parramatta are doing so far through 15 minutes. Completed 8 out of 8 sets.
And they've been 8 very good sets with the footy.
Only missed 4 tackles. Now across for Jennings, got away from O'Sullivan. Gillett there to clean up. Last tackle. Oh, hang on a second. Just wait a moment.
Hold on, Michael.
Players concerned straight away. And Gillett, oh, he's been split.
Yeah, that's cool. That's 7 on.
Oh, boy, do you need that? No, ever. Ever.
Blood bin, is it?
That's going to leave quite a mess for Matt Gillett. The knee with Michael
Last
Jennings.
Tackle. Okay. Read, tackle 5. Last tackle.
So, some real problems for Anthony Seibold on the scoreboard. 10-0 down for Fifita HIA. Now Gillett going to go off the field. It's whenever that happens, it's a mandatory 15 minutes off the field. If you're going to make it an HIA, it has to become 15. If you just want to take him off because you're worried about his nose, he could come back in a minute.
All right.
But now they've made the signal. He goes off for 15.
Yeah. Hold on, give me a step, another step.
McCulloch
Last tackle. Jay.
will replace Gillett.
Hold on. Last tackle.
Well, maybe Carrigan.
Tackle.
Yeah, they've decided to go.
Carrigan.
They were all up on their feet. They all wanted to be out there, guys, but out of the dugout here at Bankwest, they sit under a little shelter here.
It's going blind. It was 14, not 17.
We're a long way from the ground.
Thanks, Randy.
Smother. Brisbane with the ball, but they were all up and concerned as much as anything for their teammate Gillett.
Well done, mate.
16 gone here. 10-0 scoreline. Haas pokes through.
Great feat.
It's an awesome sight. Now O'Sullivan and long Pengai. Lovely tackle there by Salmon. Short side. O'Sullivan confident to take it all the way to the line. Shibasaki there. That was sharp work by O'Sullivan. 5 tackles, Brisbane. O'Sullivan again. On for Turpin. Further along for Milford. Might have been 3 on 2. Kick through by Staggs. Ferguson latches onto it. Oates was close, but not close enough.
10 metres. Hold.
They covered it in the end, Parramatta, but it was a great set from the Broncos. That's twice they've persevered with O'Sullivan going down the short side. Milford, he's let O'Sullivan take the reins. They've come up with a couple of errors, but then the nice 2-pass play back to Milford to be a threat on that left edge.
Yeah, I think that works, Gaz.
It does.
Turpin, first receiver, O'Sullivan, and then Milford, another player wider.
When they get that width of the pass to Milford, they'd love to see him play back through the middle. Now they concede another penalty.
Good match unfolding here on Fox League Super Saturday. Andy Raymond sideline.
It's all about the Brisbane second row as David Fifita has passed his HIA, and to say he's ready to get back on is an understatement. Matty Gillett has gone back straight into the dressing rooms with a broken nose. Spoke to one of the medical staff down here. I said, is it badly broken? He said, there's no such thing as a good one.
All right, restart of play, and the Parramatta try scorer And their first one, Paulo. First one he's had for a long, long time. And you consider he had those years away at Canberra. So the Eels now 5 metres inside the Brisbane half. Marnie to Moses. And Moses along. Gutherson got through the tackle of O'Sullivan.
Well, he read the play, O'Sullivan. He just couldn't make the stop.
Now Marnie goes short side. Lane with a little skip. Another big frame on the edge. Both teams have some damaging runners. And Brown on that carry. Lodge able to wrestle him to ground. Tackle 5 for Parramatta. Great opportunity again. Gutherson 5 away. Jennings is over as well.
I've got Brandon.
Brisbane's goal line defence. Well, it's not quite wet paper towel stuff, but it's just got no impact. And Jennings, as Sivo was able to do, as Paulo was able to do, just finds his way to the in goal.
Yeah, nice set and a great short side play. Gutherson to the line, Michael Jennings. He mightn't do it as regularly as he used to, but he's still a class act, Michael Jennings. The footwork, was able to crash into Shibasaki, just spin out of the tackle, plant the ball down for the Eels' second try, third try. What a start from them.
Well, Jermaine Osaka, he was in no man's land. He was worried about Sivo getting the football because of the previous play, but Sivo had no intention of getting the football whatsoever. He could have helped Shibasaki out, but he didn't. And Jennings, well, he was the beneficiary. Seen glimpses of brilliance in 2019 from Jennings. But that left edge, we've seen some poor reads from as well. It's the good Parramatta Eels tonight.
16th all-time now. Try scorers list, Michael Jennings with 145 tries.
Well, everything about the Eels tonight just screams of energy. Quick play the balls, on the go, over the advantage line at the Brisbane Broncos defence, and they're asking plenty of questions. They're 11 from 11 as Moses moves in.
Oh, looking good, looking good! Yes! Oh, yeah. Moses! 1.2 millimetres inside the right-hand upright for 16-0. I know you're not a psychologist, Brandy, but can you explain where they find the energy that wasn't there last week?
I think
is there an equation?
Well, there is. There's Brad Arthur. They just wait for a spray. He gives it to them, and then they respond. And that's been their season so far. They've been good, and they've been bad. And tonight, they're great.
It's called embarrassment. I think that does it to you.
Come on.
It provokes a response, without a doubt.
And now, Brisbane, what do we say about them?
Oh,
16-0 down, and now it's out of the fall from the kickoff. Anthony Seibold sends some Panadol to the Broncos coach's box now.
And this is tough for a young team. We've got to remember, they've got 10 players out there that are 23 years or younger, the Brisbane Broncos. And someone really needs to grab them by the scruff of the neck now. They've had hardly any football in the last 5 minutes. They've conceded tries. They've been on the back foot.
Well, they've got to stop the bleeding now.
Exactly.
They can't afford to let it continue. Somehow they've got to get the Eels out of their rhythm.
Well, they're not getting mistakes. 11 from 11 completion rate for Parramatta. They're 30 metres away from the Broncos line. They've posted 3 tries in 20 minutes. And look at the running, Kane Evans. They all want to rumble with the Brisbane defence at the moment. This time for Lane to take them on, and there's 4 involved in the tackle. They're brittle, Brisbane, the brittle Broncos. 8 metres away from the line, Jennings right across for Salmon. Then Moses, and then, juggled by Brown. He's offloaded. Marnie with it. Quick hands along. Paulo does the same. Marnie's got it back like a jackrabbit. And Ma'u at the end of it. Milford makes the tackle. Parramatta sizzling. This time Moses stepping 3 times. Then fires it out to the right. On the bounce to Ferguson. Even the bad passes are finding the mark, if you know what I mean. Ferguson beats a couple. Last tackle, 15 away. Quick play the ball, Gutherson. Ferguson. Rubber from Ferguson to Beauty. And Boyd just knocks it dead. Parramatta.
Well, even when they don't get it right, it's working for them. The ball's on the ground, a couple of drop balls, but they've been able to recover. Gutherson does a great job after the mark and did a terrific job to read the short side. And then Blake Ferguson, something we haven't seen from Fergo, little rubber kick into the in goal. They get another set. Here the Eels.
And they've sent out Penny Terapo. Get ready for Penny's first run. Hopefully get it from the line drop out. He's on for Evans. It's coming.
Whoa, what a
it's got
kick.
way over his head. Back went Moses. Paulo will take the run from the 40, Parramatta's end. A long way to run for the Brisbane defenders to get up that far. 16-0, 17 and a half to go. Terapo in the first half at the place they call Paradise, the local fans. Across for Salmon. Quickly along, Brown, Gutherson, Sevo. And Asako does his best to hang on. Turpin over the top. Like an amusement ride for Turpin. Jennings, Salmon, Brown, thought he spotted a hole. Turpin made a tackle. I think a fourth try is not far off. Now Salmon, Jennings, one step right on the goal line. Tackle 5. Lane finds himself a dummy half. Across is Salmon. Salmon's kick off the legs. Almost got it back. Carrigan cleaned up. Brisbane hang on, but only just.
And now this is the hard bit. Only 36% of the football. They've defended their line. They've had no luck in the last 10 minutes. They really need to get through this set. Potentially try and get an early kick away.
Senko on that run. They're back to the 20, but they're halfway through the set. Boyd does well to make 8 or 9 metres there. But the highlights package for Brisbane at the moment is a pretty short video. Milford and across for Fafita. And now he's got an offload in him. Oh, he was looking for quick play. The ball could almost get a penalty against him there. Milford ducked and weaved away from Hoffman. The kick beats Gutherson. Now hits the upright padding. Good result, Brisbane. Gutherson with the ball. Doesn't pass to Sevo. And Shibasaki is there with Pengai. It'll be Sevo's job for the next carry. What a find he's been this year. 12 tries now with that 4-pointer he's got tonight. He's already got 3 try doubles, another one last week. And now Jennings has been hurt and he looks, well, he's a crumpled heap, isn't he? Jennings in an awkward position, face down. Time off here. Can't shed any light until we look at a replay as to what happened with Michael Jennings there.
He almost slid between the two Broncos defenders. Just the footwork there. You'd be thinking it's an ankle.
Well, the crowd not happy with the first contact across the face by Matt Lodge, but Fafita is the one who signals to the referee for another issue. Michael Jennings, by the way, the fact that he's already scored 1 try, if he scores a double, Parramatta are 6 from 6 when he scored 2 tries for them. Unbeaten. Comes a magic figure for them. Are we hoping he gets a second?
Hold! Go, 3.
Parramatta on the restart from their own 20-metre zone. Terapo into the meat of the front row of Brisbane there. That's a good formation as Paulo takes another run, and this will set it up for the kick from Moses. He's on the right side of the ruck. Here he is, Moses. And Fafita almost got him in the air and ended up on the ground. Moses resented the challenge. Boyd ends up with it. It looked dramatic, but it's a strange one because the challenger ends up on the ground and not the kicker. You'll be the judge at home, but he's definitely in air. Fafita came off the worst.
Yep, there's no doubt that the players that charge out of the line to put pressure on a kicker, they're in danger of injuring themselves too. Sometimes they cop a hip, a shoulder, a boot.
Lodge on this run for Brisbane. Needless to say, they have to score next.
Payne Haas off, Tommy Flegel.
Forward pass to O'Sullivan. A wheel has fallen off the Broncos' wagon here. And the pass from Jake Turpin was poor.
And they're just really trying to get it, young Salmon. There's the forward pass. O'Sullivan I like that. Players inside and out. But once they get to that edge, they need to go back through the middle. Payne Haas getting a well-deserved rest.
Mind you, it has been around the first 3 games we had for the weekend, 20-point lead.
Yeah.
Was run down, but then lost.
Yeah.
Then Warriors led by 10, run down, but then went on to win. And then we had Tigers
had a
18
big win,
in front,
a big
run
lead.
down, but then still hang on to win. So maybe that trend can continue for Brisbane here, and maybe we'll talk about 16 all at some stage. Let's take Parramatta coming back to the field. Now Gutherson, you saw Gillett ready to return. Brown, amazing offload. Marnie with the netball pass. And then on for Gutherson. So much confidence with Parramatta. Jennings. And it was Salmon. Moses keeping it going right side. Hoffman with the ball. And Hoffman caught by Staggs. That's the 4th. Parramatta right end of the field as far as they're concerned. Corey's now out there. Look for Moses. Here he is, the number 7 for Parramatta. Kicking to the corner of Oates. Ferguson bats it back. Batted back a second time. Moses fumbles. Now there's trouble. Staggs almost onto the ball. Staggs has picked it up. And what happened? What happened? Corey Oates has a shopping bag with a hole in it. Crazy piece of play that's got 50 metres upfield to end like that.
Well, Ferguson slapped it back. Mitchell Moses, he tried to pick up the football. Katoni Staggs did amazingly well. Just got the left boot to it. Lovely hands.
He was always running out of room, wasn't he, Corey Oates? He was always heading over the sideline, but a near thing for Parramatta.
Matt Gillett on the sideline, boys. That nose perfectly straight. And the reason, the doctor put on the rubber gloves, and you know if you've broken your nose and the doctor walks over to you with 2 fingers in the air and rubber gloves on, it's straightening time. And they put it back in, a little bit of padding, ready to go.
Into the Fox League, just doing maybe a little dessert. Listening to you, Dr. Raymond. Very graphic with the rubber gloves.
It stings.
Now Marnie, Salmon. Oh, boy, fell into the tackle. He was just about to take flight, and he slid into the O'Sullivan tackle. Terapo in for Gower. And the David Gower's offloaded as well. Marnie and Moses, and he'll kick, and now there's chases aplenty.
Oh, yeah.
Chases aplenty. Hoffman has scored the 4th for Parramatta. Blue and gold wave was coming through to the Broncos in goal area. And Hoffman is the one who scores it. And the flags are up here.
Well, when we said it, when they're good, they are good. And I tell you what, they are brilliant tonight. Salmon going down the left-hand short side. I love it. That's normally Mitchell Moses sweeping down those short sides. Gower, have a look at this offload. Pops it up from nowhere. Marnie gets it across to the danger man Moses. He sums up the situation well. Oates had come up and in. Hoffman, too quick. Well, they are the entertainers tonight. The Parramatta Eels.
This is from Rover on Fox League. Wow. Filled up the petrol tank. What a shot that is of a team in motion.
They need to play here every week.
Yes.
Because they are a different team.
The half a dozen offloads that the Eels have come up with really has put the pressure on the Brisbane defence. And Mitchell Moses, the kick that just angled away towards the sideline, giving Hoffman a chance to get to the ball before Darius Boyd did, who wasn't in a terrible position. He was covering across. He could see Moses heading across the field, but the kick just turned away from Darius Boyd. The angle that Moses put on that kick was special.
Experienced Josh Hoffman into the side. They dropped Takarangi a number of weeks ago. New Zealand international scoring the Eels' 4th try. Look at them in the background. They're jumping around. They're dancing. Smiles on faces. Winning is everything, isn't it? Moses, his kick, not his best, but a 20-0 scoreline. How impressive is that through 31 minutes? Tough times for Brisbane. And here at Bankwest Stadium tonight, this will be the venue for Rugby League's World Cup nines later in the year for the first time. 12 nations across 2 days in the first Rugby League World Cup nines, and you can book your experience at nrltravel.com. Official travel agent of the NRL. Make a weekend of it. You've watched on from afar, possibly, the Magic weekend. How much fun that was. Well, how about heading here for the World Cup nines later in the year? Now a kick-off. They go the ground route that time, Brisbane. He put one out on the full. So the key numbers for Parramatta, besides the 20-0, they've had 63% of the ball, 15 of 16 completion rate, 6 offloads to 3, 3 line breaks to 0. They're winning the penalties, and the missed tackle count is 16 Brisbane, 5 Parramatta. Can't tell you any more than that. Brown with the ball, 5 short of halfway. In fact, if you're a Parramatta fan, you take a photocopy of all of that. You take it to school for show and tell. Gower. Last tackle here. And on for Salmon. His first kick of the night. Down towards Assako's wing. Layner's getting through. Jermaine's with the ball. And Sivo has him.
10 metres,
So yes, 20-0 it was Cronulla and Canberra. Brisbane need to find some inspiration here.
And what making no mistakes, as the Eels haven't yet, they're giving Brisbane the ball where they want them to have it, and that's down this end of the field.
Offload. Turpin had have offloaded there. That would have been another forward pass. He had teammates in front of him, just outside the 40. Salient point that Brandy makes. I mean, this is the one out running when you're coming out of your own half. You can't just flick a switch when you get the ball and throw it around. Milford spiralling kick. Gutherson steady with it. Off he goes, looking for open pasture. Sivo reckons he's seen it. Oh, he was away. Gillett. Oh, he's copped it in the face again, Gillett. Sivo was getting to his feet. Poor old Matt. They might have to bring out the Hannibal Lecter. The bandaging for him may be warranted. Gower, yet another offload. Well, there's another one from Parramatta, not to hand. Niukore's got the ball. He's got a bit of speed too. Gutherson was the second offload in the play after Gower's effort. Moses, this time delivering shot. Oh, it was a 5th try. It was going to be a 5th try for Marnie to run over and score.
Well, that would have been the trifecta for Mitchell Moses. He'd played long, he kicked in behind. On this occasion, played nice and short to Manu Ma'u. But again, it's the offload to Gower. Look at that, look out the back, play short. Manu Ma'u, what a player he is, just pushes the pass. Read Marnie. He would have been under the sticks, but again, so entertaining from the Parramatta Eels.
Gower is a good, honest footy player, and he wants it known. He's not retiring end of the year. He wants to go around again, but he's made to look like Arthur Beetson here tonight.
He was at the Dragons in 2010. Lovely fella. He's got more skill than what you think too, Vossi. He can ball play down the short side, great vision.
He'll bore you telling you that he once played in the centres for Holy Cross College Ride, and he reckons he's got the speed of an outside back, just had very little opportunities in grade.
Well, he got an opportunity at 5'8" last week, but unfortunately they weren't going forward too well, but he's a skillful player.
So Brisbane with the ball just inside their 30. A little wider, Milford along, and Fifita the fend. Now gets to show some of his athleticism. Haas is back on the field. Pengai off for the Broncos, and we're inside the final 6 minutes of this first half. Last game on Super Saturday here on Fox League in round 14. 5 tackles, Brisbane kicking from inside their own half. A tough night for the young half O'Sullivan. His kick takes a big bounce. It's going to pull up. Oh, what a kick. O'Sullivan, Ferguson, they're all there. The kicker can't quite make the tackle. Ferguson back to the field of play. Staggs was the man who got there first. Just couldn't get the shot on. Became the perfect kick from O'Sullivan, and there's a penalty. Oh, fair dinkum, Mitchell Moses. He's fired up, isn't he? You think the officials need that sort of assistance?
Well, they had an opportunity there, the Broncos, after a terrific kick from Sean O'Sullivan. Sat inches inside the dead ball line to put some pressure on the Eels, make them work it out of their own end, but the penalty, which are now 4-2 favouring the Eels. Look where this ball sat.
What a kick.
Yeah, one ref, boys.
So Parramatta again, the width game. Passes, plenty of passes from Parramatta. I need to come up with a stat for passes they've produced in this first half. They have come here with a plan. And here is Salmon. Across it goes. Moses and a slide. No, they're just short of halfway. This is a bit of a flashback for Brad Arthur. His first game as a caretaker coach back in 2012 was Parramatta against Brisbane. In that first game, they won 42-22 against the Broncos. His very first game. He thought, how good's this? How easy this coaching caper can be.
Little did he know.
Yeah, exactly. He's learned otherwise. He's now on medication. It's now Moses. Turns around Oates. Corey Oates! Corey Oates, what player are you on tonight? And look who scored! It's the former centre. If only for one game. There's his speed. Gower has scored the try. Apologies to Corey, but he's having a really off night for an Origin quality player. I don't think he can take it off David Gower this try.
We're just going to check on side, which they are comfortably. Oates was coming forward, then he had to drop back again.
Parramatta kick chases are onside.
Terrific kick from Mitchell Moses, splitting the winger and fullback. Fumble, toes it through.
Ball knocked backwards by Corey Oates.
Darius Boyd can't make a play at it. Here he comes.
There he comes.
Gower through the middle.
There he comes.
Grounded by David Gower. We have a decision.
There's the prolific try scorer, Gower, with his 6th of his career and his 2nd against Brisbane. There is Bunny. 3rd against Brisbane. Half his career tries are against the Broncos. Shane Warne against, what was it, Cullinan stuff. It's too easy against Brisbane for Gower.
But again, it's the width of the pass. They've got beautiful balance, the Parramatta Eels. We've seen Salmon come down this left edge at O'Sullivan on many occasions. The wide pass to Mitchell Moses out there on the right edge, who again, he kicks in behind. Remember, he's played short to Manu Ma'u. He's played long across the face to Hoffman. And that just keeps the defence in two minds. Then he kicks in behind again. Corey Oates, wow.
Yeah, well.
And normally when you shift the ball early in the tackle count, like the Eels are doing, sometimes you can go backwards and then that stifles the attack. But the Eels are still getting quick play the ball, so when they shift the ball, even if they're not making a line break, then they're punching it through the middle, and they really are turning this Broncos defence. It's paper thin almost.
You would have done probably Monday Night Football. Remember the horrific night Manu Vatuvei here? In his great career for the Warriors, been had a shocker at the old Parramatta Stadium. I'm seeing it in Corey Oates tonight. He's having a horror show. And Parramatta, we saw this coming after last week.
As this side has evolved over the last few months with personnel changes, so too have their set plays and their go-to plays on the training paddock Monday to Friday. Brad Arthur and his staff haven't completely changed game plan or their theories or their systems, but depending on who's playing where, they've tinkered with the systems and tinkered with the theories. So far, so good it seems.
Whatever they're doing in theory, they're certainly putting in the practice, Andy, tonight. As Terapo brings it back. And that's a brave tackle front on. Boyd standing his ground there and stopped him in his tracks. 2 minutes and a bit to go. 6-0 scoreline. They fire up, but they need more than that right now, Brisbane.
If they kick you, they're in trouble. That's Darius Boyd. That's his 2nd tackle in a row.
Ferguson hurt. Now Gower. Hasn't been, 7 years since Parramatta has kept the Brisbane side scoreless in a first half. And Marty with the ball at dummy half. Gower is having a night out. Last play here for the Eels. And Marty, although Gower looked a little hurt after that previous run. Moses doing his job. He's fired up again. Wasn't happy that he didn't quite make the contact with the ball that he was hoping for. Osako with it. They've got one last set to try and post points, and then I don't know what Anthony Seibold says at half-time. There are a couple of boxes up, and I will tell you what, he's already gone to the dressing room. He's not in the coach's box, 2 up from where we broadcast from. They have left the box and are already in the room.
I think that was 20 minutes ago.
Are you saying he caught a move? He's on his way back to the end. There you go. He's already in the dressing room. That is extraordinary stuff. Shibasaki now on for O'Sullivan. And then Turpin and Haas. I assume he made the move down after the Gower try. That would have given him some time and not miss a play. Now O'Sullivan inside, and Flegler just lost his legs there. Turpin, quick scoop up. They got seconds to score. Haas is with the ball. 26-0. Been a while since Parramatta had to defend inside their own 20. Haas has got his leg tangled up. That takes seconds off the clock. Turpin going back to the right side, and that's easy for Lane and Gower. In defence there on Carrigan. This time, Milford, Boyd gets a little look at the line. Last tackle play, 4 seconds on the clock. Penalty conceded. It basically forces them to take a shot at goal for a 30 points to 2 or 26 points to 2 scoreline, doesn't it? There's no time on the clock.
One play.
No, they're going to have one play, aren't they?
What are we doing, Darius? Shot a goal.
Well, there you go. They've got to get something on the board, Brandy.
Hey, Liam.
So much for the scoreless first half stat, but
Just be aware that they're not going to try and do the old...
Well, he went close, Darius Boyd. Nice inside ball from Anthony Milford. Wide pass. Had Ma'u going backwards, and it was Terapo. The work from the inside was able to get enough of Darius Boyd. Reid Marnie and Clint Gutherson also there.
You think of all the football they've had, they're still so vulnerable back through the middle, the Parramatta Eels. They've conceded 43 tries. 26 of those have come through the middle. You go back to the first time Brisbane attacked their line. 3 people show and go ran the football. They almost went through. Just then, Darius Boyd almost went through.
you know I love a hypothetical. What would be the cutoff for not taking the 2 on a scoreline? Like it was 40-0. Would you not take it? Would you go for 42? Would you? What's the cutoff? Because it's 26-0. It is 26-0. So that gets them back to 4 converted tries, the difference. There it is. And no, they've missed it as well.
Missed it.
Oh, they believe that. Well, that will be no 20-minute restart. Dear. Brisbane Broncos have fallen victim here at Paradise in the first 40 minutes. Jermaine Asako, the last shot from the first half. And look at the smile on Penny Terapo's face. Well, Parramatta fans, what about tonight? What about this statistic from the Fox Sports Lab? This is their biggest halftime lead in 14 years since week 1 of the finals against Manly back in 05, where they led 28-0. Let's go downstairs. Andy Raymond with the Parramatta coach.
Brad, one of the easier halftime addresses. What did you say?
Well, it's a challenge for us now. This last 40 minutes, not to fade in and out of the game. We've put ourselves in a really good position to show that we can be an 80-minute team. So that's the challenge for us, to be patient, but not to try and protect the lead either. Yeah? We need to stay in the game.
You challenged their character. You said it's time to toughen up. Are you happy with that, 40?
Yeah, some of our defence at times got a bit loose, but our desperation was good. So defence is going to be, the real key for our success in the second half.
Enjoyed the second.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
And at this point in time too, love to give a shout out to a great Parramatta fan by the name of Ronnie Grimer, up in Brisbane doing it tough. He's a remarkable story. His lifelong love of Parramatta started when he used to play junior footy in Mackay, and the Souths Club had the blue and gold colours, and that became his team in the big league following Parramatta. And right at the moment, Ronnie's been dealt a bad card, and his wife Debbie and his family supporting. But what he has done all through his life, when it's match day, you wear the Parramatta jersey. I understand his daughter brought the jersey to the hospital this morning. So Ronnie's watching Fox League tonight. Good on you, Ronnie. Hope you're enjoying this one with your Eels jersey on and your team is doing you proud.
What up, boys?
Second half underway with the Broncos in all sorts of trouble. At 26-0 down. The first tackle doesn't quite come off. Boyd's tried a few big ones. And he went for the fearsome sight that is Penny Terapo there. It was a bouncing tackle. Where could it end? What if Parramatta do pick up where they left off? This was the challenge on Terapo. He looked up and Boyd just couldn't get his arms around him.
Well, there was another offload there from David Gower just to keep the set rolling. Ma'u set up near halfway.
By the way, I didn't get a chance to mention Osako, quite stunned that he missed. He was on an 18-goal streak going into that miss from beside the uprights on half-time. So everything going wrong for Brisbane. And this kick rushed. Boyd does the same to get to it on the full. 20 out from his own line. But if they're to mount any sort of a challenge, got to start somewhere. They've got to get some points on the board. Maybe one try can become two, and then we're talking inside 3 converted tries. They've just got to stick at their task here as Fifita with the ball. The form looked good before last week against the Titans, but it's gone south for Brisbane. Turpin there, very flat. Crowd didn't like it again with Carrigan on the run back. This is where the young blokes are under pressure. Young forwards, Gillett, haven't got scrapbooks of experience to go back on. Kept alive by O'Sullivan. Back for Carrigan. And he'll be called to play at 30 away from the Parramatta line on the last tackle of their first set of the second half. O'Sullivan will bomb to the corner. Oates isn't even going to get a challenge at it. It's knocked back by Staggs, and look who's there. He's everywhere. David Gower.
Just can't keep him out of the game. Gower cleaning up the ball that was tapped back by the Broncos. The kick from O'Sullivan really not at the depth they wanted. The Eels already on their own 40.
Thanks, Sean.
If it was one of the English, it was one of the Super League crowds that have a song for David Gower at the moment. It'd probably go along the lines of David Gower walks on water, or there's the St Helens fans at the moment have got a great song for Lachlan Coote, the former Cowboy and Panther. There's now Parramatta cut-out ball from Moses. And Mahu with it. Got through a flying Staggs, and then Staggs does a good job on the second attempt. All over Hoffman there. Gutherson, that is a skinny blindside, and gone out on the fourth. Well, that's a horrible play. That's diabolical from Parramatta.
Well, their first couple of kicks haven't been great. Jamin Salmon put in a kick that really had no depth to it, and then Mitchell Moses, with no room to work with, just tried to punch it across the line.
You heard Andy Raymond with Brett Arthur. Andy, what about what Anthony Seibold had to say? Could you get close enough to the shed so you could stand 20 metres away and hear what he said?
No, I kept my distance and got a relay message through. Basically, pretty logical. He said start again, but this time with energy, with enthusiasm, and actually following the plans we set out throughout the week.
Now Boyd along, and Shibasaki along. Is Sarko's kick. Here it comes, their first try. Gillett.
Yes.
They say they're happy. Maybe not all of them. They've just got to check if Gillett is onside. But Brisbane may have their first try 43.5 minutes into the contest.
It was lovely timing from Osako.
Actually, that is onside.
Gillett does well to push through. But, geez, I thought they were luckily. Again, O'Sullivan
Takes possession
down
and
that
grounds the ball
right-hand
and
edge.
have a decision.
He's been dangerous there all night in the limited opportunities he has had. But the pass from Turpin to O'Sullivan, Parramatta fans, they weren't happy. But I'll tell you what, if anyone's due for some luck, it is the Brisbane Broncos. Well,
That's what they needed. They needed to try early in this second half. And I think they've been delivered field position by a couple of poor kicks from the Eels. Brad Arthur won't be happy with the way the Eels have started the second half. The kick from Mitchell Moses, and there was the pass from Turpin. It was borderline, and Osako did a great job. Michael Jennings was across in cover. There was no one back in the middle of the field where the kick went from Osako. Great catch and pass from Shibasaki.
That's a good skill at pace, isn't it?
Yeah, good front-on view of exactly what happened in that try. But the kick from Moses and the other one from Salmon, they just weren't good enough.
26-4, and you can keep it at 26-4. He's gone across the face this time. Jermaine Osako. Well, that's going to make it hard to pick it back if you can't turn your fours into sixes.
No, he's got to grab everything. Jermaine Osako.
Well, it should be 8 now. It should be 8. It should be 26-8. And that would be 3 converted tries the difference. And you're feeling a little better about things, but it's 22 the difference. Broncos fans have to stay solid.
Don't go early, boys.
Up and down night for him with a busted beak. That is the shot. So that's a couple of boxes up to our right.
Time on.
Anthony Seibold, Ben Cross there, former Origin forward. We start from Parramatta. Only their second of the night. Kick off. Pass with a run. And Haas's numbers tonight, only 7 hit up, 66 metres, but that's still more metres than any other Brisbane forward. Paulo tops the running metres. Terapo, Ma'u, Brown all up there as well. Spread around the forwards. Broncos 25 from their own line. O'Sullivan pushing along to the try scorer, but Salmon is there. Lane and Terapo finish him off. Haas will take another run. No, offloading. And Milford onto Fifita. Moses does a good job to take him across field. Fifita, a few times he levers himself up off the ball. He's not far away from giving away a penalty, Fifita. Textbook is play the balls. Now Gutherson with it. Low ball across to Sivo. Puts a fend on Shibasaki. Offloads for Jennings. Watch his feet. Jennings spins and steps. Racked up 8 metres short of halfway. He was a fend. Sivo, that is a good old-fashioned don't argue. The full palm into the sternum.
I know Milford's good at those spirals, but I'd love to see him punch him into the corner. Ferguson, Sivo, they're worse at turning around, getting the football than they are catching the high balls.
6 into the second half. And Gutherson to play it. Marty, all close near Corey. He was rocked in the tackle there. A Flegler. Quick play the ball though on the last. Moses runs a long way. Grab a kick. Milford ends up with it. But it's not a bad place. Parramatta have got Brisbane in the corner. 2 tackles already. Oates was caught on the second. Staggs on this run. Marty up there for another tackle. The leading tackler in the NRL. So many sets Brisbane have started inside their own half tonight. Actual completion rate's okay. It's high 70%, but 15 of 19. It's hard work when 4 and 5 tackles of every set they've had have been inside their own territory. Last play again. Milford kicks from inside the 40. Swings it back to Ferguson's wing with a trap and then a nice bounce to pick up. And there's the difference. Parramatta start a set 39 out from their own line. Salmon, Gutherson, threatening on halfway. Carrigan the defender. Sivo on another run. Good little battle between Sivo and Ferguson, who makes the most running metres. They're almost level tonight, the two of them. Marty, Gower, able to bring the house down. 30 away, what about a hat-trick? Probably wishing too much. Salmon goes short there to Lane. Last tackle, Parramatta. Set where they've quite easily made 60 metres upfield without doing a whole lot. Moses bombs from 20 metres out. It's a shallow one. They'll get close to it. It was knocked back by Hoffman. Brisbane take full advantage. Game gone off for Parramatta since half time.
Yeah, not where he wanted to put that one. He wanted to get it as close to the try line as possible.
Notes on that run. Low down. Turpin and Haas. Able to offload. That is so strong. That 19-year-old front rower took on 3 defenders and offloaded. And oh no! When your night is not happening, Turpin lost it straight into the breadbasket of Josh Hoffman. Merry Christmas, Josh. Love from Jake.
Well, it was the offload from Payne Haas that thought there's a half a chance here for the Brisbane Broncos. David Fifita got the ball, and it was a tackle from Mitch Moses that just stopped him in his tracks. He tried to push one out. There's Turpin, Milford, back inside, and that's the stop. Very good from Mitch Moses on David Fifita, who was a powerful big man. And the forced pass there to Turpin. Great tackle from Mitch Moses. Just couldn't hang on to the footy, and Hoffman in perfect position to take advantage of any luck that went his way.
Look at the look on Hoffman's face. He can barely believe that he was presented. A 40-metre run to the try line, Gaz.
Well, unfortunately for the Broncos fans, it just adds to the list, doesn't it? Whether the kick out on the full, the drop balls on first play, Asako's missed goal, Oates' 3 errors that have led to tries. Throw that one in there. But take nothing away from Parramatta. They came here to play tonight. First half in particular, the way they executed their game plan, gone away from it a little bit in this second half and not backed up by their kicking game either. So maybe that try might just get them back on track.
30 points to 4. Make that 32 to 4. Another big score coming Parramatta's way at Bankwest Stadium. Andy Raymond sideline.
Yeah, the Eels fans loving it. I can hear the Broncos fans north of the border just saying, stop it. Now, made a debut in 2008, this bloke, Josh Hoffman, for the Brisbane Broncos, played at the club all the way through until 2014. Now, Mitch Moses just a little off at the first 10 minutes of this second half. There's a theory he still needs to work on his all-field game. Really good in certain areas of the field, but it's still a bit of a battle in the others. Close on the right-hand side, midfield, just getting a little lost. I think Brad Arthur would love to see a little bit more rhythm from Mitchell.
Oh, what about that tackle? Well, produce that all night and you won't be down 32 to 4. Boyd and Lodge now up on Ferguson. Followed up by McCulloch. Here's Gower with the ball. This was the first shot on Terepo, and Terepo runs off the back fence every time he gets the footy. That is a hell of a tackle.
And that's a big challenge to your forwards. That's your fullback off a kickoff.
Super Saturday on Fox League. Stunning scoreline, 32 to 4. You've got to keep watching because where does this end? Does Parramatta really go on with it? They did rack up 50 against the Tigers their first game here. They put 32 on the Dragons. They had 26 on the Rabbits. Gaz has moved to motion. They play every game here. I don't know how that's going to be received. If they do, they could be premiership favourites.
Well, if I'm opposition fans, I'm happy to come to this venue.
Brisbane getting a little roll on here. Oh, then lost. Milford loses the ball but earns a penalty. He was wrestling. Urgency in the Broncos play, obviously. There has to be. McCulloch kicks for line. Might be a point-scoring fest this second half. If the Broncos play with that sort of urgency. Milford. Oh, that was asking for the hit. Gower's there. Suddenly, hands above head and ribs exposed. Could have been anything on McCulloch there. Lodge, back he goes. Terepo, Marnie, Ma'u there. Pass with a run.
Get up! Sean.
Which really livens up since the runaway Hoffman try. Milford this time. Oh, Boyd is smashed on the bounce to Oates. Darius Boyd's in trouble. His ribs are sore and no wonder. Staggs with it now. Caught quite a shot, Darius. McCulloch offloading, then running. Milford able to offload. Lodge there with a ball right beside the uprights. And a changeover. Boyd is still down and in strike.
Great tackle, Sean Lane. Sensed the opportunity. Milford went for the hole, then bang off the left foot. This is the shot on Boyd. Long pass. Hoffman says, thank you, I'll take that. Just squashed his ribs, but Lane just come flying in off Lodge. Look at this big left foot step. Gets the offload across. Lodge is potentially going to go in, and there's Lane. Whack.
Right there, boys.
Good desperation.
Payne, Dave. Hold on.
Better set from Brisbane. 27 and a half to go, but remains 32 to 4 as far as they're concerned. Sebo. Forcing error here, the Broncos defence. Slow play the ball from Sebo. And Gaz's defender, Lane, on that run back. Marty will bring Ferguson into the play. His job tonight, although he had one anxious moment in the first half. Here's Marnie. He's a Queenslander, you know. Taking on the Broncos here. 15 short of halfway. Brown now. Down and a pretty uneventful set from Parramatta. Nice tackle. Back it goes. Moses retreating, having to kick. That's not the the best scenario. Boyd picking it up. He's a little tender, I would suggest. Oates on the run back. 26 and a half to go. Super Saturday on Fox League. Big post-match show tonight too. Ready to review out of today and the weekend so far, and indeed previewing tomorrow the Sunday ticket. The Sea Eagles and the Dragons, and the Roosters and the Bulldogs. Flashback to the New South Wales Rugby League days. Brookvale and the SCG, the venues. Flegler up over halfway. Now McCulloch. Pass, looking for another offload, succeeds. Lodge with it. He shows us somewhat of a step. Last tackle, Brisbane. McCulloch. Milford bomb the last resort. Down to Ferguson's side. It's easy for Blake Ferguson, and links up with Gutherson. Gutherson is thinking 80 metres. Captured by Haas. Ferguson now on to Sivo. Lodge puts some oomph into the finish of that tackle. Dramas for Marcus Sivo, this time with Paulo, one of the try scorers tonight. Good for a number of the Parramatta players, the four-pointer stakes tonight. Brown, nice run and pass. Salmon, Sivo, back yourself. Early on in the tackle, Asako there. Inside the Broncos 40. Salmon. Tonight, Jamin Salmon, Paulo, yet another offload. Marnie kept it going. Mo across to Hoffman. Hoffman spin almost away from Staggs. Last tackle, Parramatta. Ferguson, not the best of passes. Moses recovered well. Kick up for Boyd. Boyd has lost it. Play on, Jennings. Oh no.
First that way, no. And then Darius Boyd knocked it on there. It's a changeover.
Double knock on. The ball movement from the Eels, again, through that set was outstanding. The offloading, they're going to say that the touch from Mitch Moses was the knock-on, original knock-on.
The fans thought maybe not that, but anyway, the referee had to make the call in real time. And Brisbane had possession outside their 20.
Well done, boys.
But now there's 24 to go. Lodge. There's an overlap down the left. Not much space to work. Staggs will do well to stay in the field of play here. Oh. Pile up. Moses was the last man across there. I think he may have connected with Gower's head or shoulder. Lodge to centre field. Fafita. Crossfield running from him there. Oh, hang on now. There is problems. So this was in the pile-up. The play will have to be stopped here.
It's Hoffman.
Hoffman is in massive distress here.
Yeah, it was a massive collision down this.
With Mitchell Moses.
Yeah, Moses came flying in as third man in. Just watch Hoffman. So they wrestle with Staggs. They fall into Moses, who's just kneed Hoffman in the head.
It's concern there for his neck.
This is very nasty for Josh Hoffman, who's having an exceptional night. A couple of tries and it's gone silent here. Could have broken Mitchell Moses' leg as well. The force of the impact between leg and head of Hoffman.
Well, when it initially happened, I thought Moses was in trouble. He sort of bounced out of the collision. The damage inflicted on Hoffman.
Not going so well for Parramatta, but obviously right now all concern with Josh and his back.
Yeah, just testing whether he's got some strength in his shoulders, squeezing the doctor's fingers. All the tests that coincide with the neck, and you're right, it's been a great night for Hoffman, considering the tough night he had last week against Bronson Cherry. He bounced back really well against Staggs. Good to see he's moving his arms.
Redicap is now making its way out onto the ground, as you can see. So there will be quite a delay as all care is taken with Josh Hoffman. We'll have a look at what's happened since the start of the second half, and there was that glimmer of hope for Brisbane with the Gillett try, but when you're just not having a night, mistakes keep on happening, and that's what happened right here.
Yeah, the offload from Payne Haas went down a short side. A great tackle from Moses, wrapped up David Fifita, and then he popped the ball to Turpin, who gave it straight to the man that's on the ground now, Josh Hoffman, scoring his second try of the match.
They've left a lot of the responsibility up to Payne Haas Lodge. They're trying their guts out, trying to create second phase play, a bit of momentum. I'd like to see Milford. That was the first play he'd organised down this left-hand short side when Katoni Staggs made 20 or 30 metres. But Hoffman, let's hope he's A-OK. Never good to see someone get on a stretcher and then go on the Medicab.
And obviously Andy Raymond will be across this story for the next 23 minutes, and then into our post-match show we'll be bringing you any possible news on Josh here on Fox League. As you can see, it's been a night of real celebration for Parramatta. And this has pulled things up somewhat with 23 to go. Let's go down to Andy Raymond. He's close to the action. Andy.
Yeah, just down here with Dylan Brown, the young superstar from the Parramatta Eels, currently out injured. Horrible seeing a teammate taken like this, but everything's moving, so you know, hopefully positive signs.
Yeah, no, he's put on a performance tonight, and I hope he's proud of that. And his family will be here, and hopefully he's all right for next week.
You've done it tough for the last couple of weeks, of course, out with a back issue. The positive news is we're expecting to see you back against Canberra, all things going well.
Yeah, hopefully if I'm back with the boys this week and all things go well with contact and whatnot, I'll be back out there against the green team. So,
is that the issue? The contact? Is that the final test?
Yeah, well, I've been running a lot with the support crew and whatnot, and I've been working in the gym a lot. So yeah, until the contact's sweet, then I'll be out there.
Sick of running, sick of the gym, sick of rehab, hoping to get back on the footy field. We hope to see you soon, mate.
Cheers, bro. Thank you very much.
Would be something special. Dylan Brown, we just were teased by it, weren't we, back in round one this year against the Panthers. Set up a couple of tries. And as I say, Andy Raymond will bring us the news first on Josh Hoffman. And Parramatta have run out Raymond Stone onto the field for his first footy of the night. So on the resumption of play, a last tackle play it is for Brisbane. Kicking across again to Ferguson's wing. And Fergo comes up with the ball. And 7 or 8 metres as well. Sivo the night off under the high ball. I don't know why they're not putting a few across his way.
I'm sure the plan was to kick the Ferguson to take them out of play too. It hasn't gone to plan. A kick from O'Sullivan then really not finding the depth that he needed again.
Manu Ma'u has moved to right centre in the place of Hoffman.
Salmon on to Lane. He straightens them up. He's done his job again tonight, Sean Lane. 30 away from the Broncos line. Last tackle. I don't know what Sean's looking around for here. That slows things up. Moses with a bomb. That's more like it. Nice and high. Out towards Asako. He gets the ball, but automatically under pressure there from Jennings. Brisbane. So again, running out of their own danger zone. Shibasaki makes 20 in quick time. But all night, they've started sets deep inside their own half. Milford with the ball. High stepping. Cully going. Fifita with the Parramatta support, saying watch out for the offload. Mahu finished off the tackle. Slow surface on to Milford. Pengai rolls over the top of Brown, left him behind. Lodge does the juggle. Needed one more pass there. 28 points the difference. Brisbane will kick from inside the 40, but they're not even going to find the grass. Ferguson was back, read it well. And Ferguson runs into a Broncos wall, but it's still better off where they start their sets, Parramatta. 15 inside their own half.
Well, look at the difference with the offloads. They've had 12, the Broncos. Parramatta have had 14, but off the back of Parramatta's offloads, late Gower ones, they're prepared to move it out to Mitchell Moses and get it to their edges. Whereas Brisbane, they just stay in around the area and get tackled basically 2 metres away from where the offload occurred.
Gower on this run. What a role he's played off the bench tonight, David Gower. Now Fergo has a problem. Ferguson holding his ribs. Salmon, little jink. Pass doesn't find the mark. Sebo's with it on the bounce. And there's been a touch in there, so Parramatta get another set. Crowd responds to that. They want more. It's been a while since their last try. Stone takes the run.
Come to me. Whitehead.
Hard work for Brisbane here. Marnie to Brown. Set for Moses. Gutherson with the ball. Fishes along, and there's Manu for Ferguson, the big fella. From the line. On his back. Will they go the width again, Parramatta, as they did in the first half? Gutherson, good first ball. Moses to Brown. Steadies it up. Salmon's with it. They will go the width. Load to Jennings, and then the quickest pass you'll ever see. To Sebo.
Well, he didn't have to be that quick, Michael Jennings. He had time to catch and pass it properly. Lovely ball movement again, Bossy. I know it gets you excited, but a genuine opportunity down this right edge with Ferguson. Then a 2-pass play back. Brown, lovely, straight into the line. Out the back to Salmon. He realises they got numbers. Lane senses it too, and Jennings just couldn't get the ball to Sebo, because if he did, geez, that was another Parramatta try. They're all ball players tonight, aren't they, Rick?
Okay, 2 hands, bowling.
Oh, they look great. When they move the
Come
ball,
on, out!
they're hard to handle.
It's match number 6 of the weekend. It is a case of the haves and the have-nots. I'm now starting to get worried about the Queensland Challenge this season. I mean, how many weekends have we had where the 3 Queensland sides have lost on the same weekend? Titans, Cowboys already going down. Brisbane obviously in strife here. Lodge with the ball. I think a lot of us pre-season predictions, we had at least 2. You had the Cowboys, you had the Broncos up there. But we're going to finish round 14 and have none of them in the 8 again. Milford rushes a kick. That's a wobbler. Down to Ferguson. And off goes Blake for another run. I'll update you on those stats. 149 metres for Ferguson, 129 for Sebo. Mo running freely there. Parramatta's completion rate in all of this is 88%, 29 of 33. Off the back of that performance last week against Cronulla, completing sets wasn't necessarily their problem. They just didn't do a whole lot with the ball. 42 metres away from the Brisbane line. Moses able to get through almost. Just to the finish, Sewer pulled him back. 30 from the line. Last tackle, quick play. Gutherson now. Kick was played at by Staggs. Won't get there. Look who's there. It's the next immortal, David Gower.
There's nothing he can't do, Bossy.
He'll have his own statue. Out next to Pricey here at Bankwest Stadium. What a game he's having, David Gower. 25 metres away from the Brisbane line. Paulo on the run. He's offloaded, another one. Marnie knocked it down, play on. Salmon, overlap, Gutherson, inside Jennings, clipped by Gillett. 13 from the line, 17 and a half to go. And for Stone on the run, he's 5 away. The Parra cassette is running, if it is a cassette, I know it probably isn't these days, but it's up and running again. Moses, he's got the kick through. Who's coming through? Gower was close, but finished off by Oates.
Well, they've won the field position battle all night, and I know they've scored plenty of tries, the Eels, but where they finish their sets compared to where they're starting and giving Brisbane the ball has been a big reason why they're so far in front. Oates just shovels that one dead. Moses a great job.
Stay behind.
with the boot all night.
Go early.
Well, this is the live ladder, Brandy, right now in game number 6, and Parramatta go on to win. Tigers getting up to 14 points with their win over the Cowboys. Oh, my goodness. That wasn't in the script. Nathan Brown.
One ref, mate.
I think even the ref found that slightly
Shot clock's
amusing.
on.
Not funny for Nathan Brown.
Just a little quiet here now at Bankwest Stadium after that error from Nathan Brown.
Well, at least they can smile. Tony's proud of it. Brown and pat on the back. Jaden Sewer. As I said, the ref even had a smile on his face.
Clint, hold there until I call out.
Bit of love in the
Let's
house.
go, Bully. Come on out.
Brisbane from the scrum. Lodge at 5'8", of course. Out for O'Sullivan. Shibasaki with the ball.
Well played, Jamin. Right? Go, one.
Tough for Brisbane around halfback. Dearden's out for a while. Nikarima has changed clubs during the week. Tanner Boyd, young halfback, is signed with the Titans. If you weren't aware of that. So their halfback stocks at the start of the year, they had 4. Now they've only got 1 fit, and the one who's fit's just finishing his second first-grade game. Went on to Stags. It's a dummy half. 29 metres away from the Parramatta line. Milford cross with McCulloch. Inside for Pengai. Over the top of Marty there. Wanting the quick play the ball. Got away from Brown. Last tackle Brisbane. Milford out in front. There's Boyd. Boyd's got the kick through. Here comes Oates. There is Gutherson. Gutherson rolled into the in goal. Good from both teams there.
In their first repeat set of the game, the Broncos finally get a kick into the in-goal area. Milford shaping to kick, then out the back to Darius Boyd, just drops it on the foot. Tough one for Gutherson, heading towards the sideline and close to the try line. It's forced into in goal by the tackle from Oates. And a little bit proppy on that ankle.
5 seconds.
All teams will have next weekend off. The representative round. By the way, Brisbane, their next match is a trip to Newcastle. I reckon the Knights fans might come out in huge numbers for that. Might be a 25,000 crowd, quite the cauldron for the Broncos under pressure. Parramatta's next opponent is Canberra. Here is Milford with the ball. There's a jack and a swerve and step. Then links up with McCulloch. And along for Jaden Sewer. Leg claimed by Stone. 10 from the line. And a short for Pengai. Cut off load. Wrapping the arms around the ball was Gutherson. Short side. Oates will score. Boyd does the job. It's a... hang on a second. Raymond Stone has had a crack at Corey Oates. Hello, Raymond. What's that all about, my son? Try to Brisbane.
It's unnecessary. Hey, unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
Brisbane are saying 8-point try.
Well, off the back of their first repeat set, the first real pressure that they've been able to apply on the Eels line, a short side play, Boyd, nice cutout ball there to Corey Oates. Blake Ferguson disappointed that he wasn't marking up on his winger. Just couldn't get a touch on the ball.
He was screaming for them to come across Blake Ferguson. Equally, Darius Boyd was screaming for the football because he knew he had 4-on-2 down the short side. Really well executed.
We're sort of laughing, but it's almost shoulder charge. So I don't know what was going through Ray Stone's head there. Any ideas, Brandon? What was when you're that far in front? You're not dirty because of...
He's a competitor racer.
Right.
He just didn't like it. He didn't like giving up a try.
Okay.
You got a good shot on Lodge too in that same set, just leading up to the try.
Not saying it's right, Andrew.
No.
Just
I'm happy Ray changed the hairdo he had. We had him as Judge Stone. Remember a few weeks back there, he had the judge's wig on. And he's obviously copped a bit after that on Fox League. And
no doubt this is an improvement.
this is. Ferguson goes long And Brisbane, after their second try of the night, Lodge brings it back. 32 plays 10.
David!
So not much has gone right for Brisbane in this one. And momentum killed after that 4 wins in 5 patch. And now Titans and Parramatta. Not too good for them. McCulloch and for Haas. Still a lot to talk about in our post-match show tonight. Brandy, you'll join the panel. Michael Ennis and Mal Meninga with Yvonne. Week out from Origin number 2. 2 big matches tomorrow on Fox League. Pengai on the pickup. Oh, well, left to right. Good ball. Pengai. Shibasaki doesn't have support there. That was wonderful from Pengai. Last tackle, Brisbane. O'Sullivan, Milford, Boyd off, forward. Oh, my goodness. Only by 3 or 4 metres, but forward it was.
He had to run a long way there, Pangai, to get involved in that play, and it was always going to be an inside ball from Darius Boyd. Then Milford holding the ball out in front.
Well,
did they
look,
blow penalty?
if the deliberate forward pass...
Did they blow a penalty
Well, it's
ever?
still, that's as deliberately thrown forward as you will ever get. The answer to your question, Brandy, is no. So there's no voluntary tackles and there's no deliberate forward passes anymore. No. Even though they're still in the rule book, it's still written there. No, it's just a rule. 41 away from their own line. And Sivo want another run. Fans want more. Parramatta want them to absolutely put Brisbane to the sword here. And the only try that they have scored in the second half was the gift to Hoffman. And by the way, Andy's still awaiting news on Josh. Obviously behind closed doors, and you would think that he'd be going off to hospital at some stage as Salmon kicks and Boyd is with it 10 metres out from his own line. Moses chasing across field with Marnie. 39 tackles for the night, 44 is his season average, so he's headed for there. And then absolutely nothing doing there. As Jennings put the bear hug on Gillett. A couple of veterans there. And
good ball.
Pengai offload, Shibasaki with it. Just glimpses from Brisbane, but nothing sustained really. Lodge with the ball. And quick hands along. Now it's a 3-on-1. Kept going for Staggs. Staggs won't pass to Oates. They're very grim. They got that pass forward as well.
It was the Milford pass that they've called forward. We're right in front of it.
But again, it's Pengai. He's been the only one that's looked likely. Tough. Pengai, the long cutout pass for Shibasaki. He went straight through. Again, beautiful offload. Just toying with defenders.
All right, here we go, boys. Let's go. Come on,
Pretty quiet, Anthony Milford. Yes, limited opportunities, no doubt.
Guys, you mentioned it earlier, the middles, Haas, Lodge and Pangai have all provided something for the Broncos tonight. It's just too little though.
Now Lane with it. Parramatta, another set inside the Broncos half. 32-10 on the board. So it's a comfortable position going into the final 10, but they do want more. And I'm sure Brad Arthur wants more. Salmon has slithered through. A real eel is Salmon, if you know what I mean. And Marty in support to score the try. There was no hole there.
Yep.
Mr. Perinara wants to check it with the bunker.
Got a try.
It has been set upstairs, a try to Marnie. Watch the work of Salmon. A couple of the rookies for Parramatta on show.
He got outside
Kane Evans
Matthew
is always
Lodge
a support
and
player.
was
There's
able
no
to split the
obstruction
two
playing onto his
defenders.
point.
Very quickly summed up. Realised he had support back on the inside. Reed Marnie pushing up with him.
Big
But
Marnie grounds the ball on the end
I've
goal.
been impressed with the role that Salmon's played tonight. Back in, and it's been a revolving door, the number 6 for the Eels so far. Andy Raymond chatted to Dylan Brown.
It's been perfect, hasn't it? It's been supportive. He's had a look down short sides when he's had to. He swung back to the open side there. He was going to have a two-pass play to Mitchell Moses, saw the opportunity and accelerated through. He's kicked down that left-hand edge when he's had to. And Reed Marnie, well-deserved. He's been everywhere tonight, out the back of offloads, shifting it to defenders out wide and pushing up the middle. And I like this number 9.
Well, it all has been the responsibility of Mitchell Moses in recent weeks. And you know, I was out at Shark Park last week when they got dusted by Cronulla. And pre-game, we said, well, if Moses doesn't provide something, I can't see much happening for the Eels. Now, he tries this. Moses is leading the league.
17 heading into this match. Admittedly, he did have Gower next to him last week.
Yeah, well, that's right. And as we said, the number 6 jersey has been a revolving door. Will Smith was the 6 for a few weeks. Dylan Brown's had a go. Jamin Salmon has had his turn. But tonight, I've been impressed just with his involvement and taking pressure off his number 7.
Everyone fit. Who would you go, Brandy?
Well, I think Dylan Brown looks like a special player. We haven't seen much of him, Gaz, but Dylan Brown looks like he's got plenty.
And there he is, young Dylan. Got a bit of style about him too. By the way, the running points average for Parramatta at Paradise at Bankwest Stadium, this is their 5th game there, averaging 32 points a game right now, is what they're up to. For a team that is only just in the 8.
Well, the problem is they concede 23 a game on average too, Vossi. That's been their Achilles heel. They've always been really good in attack, but defensively, geez, they can have some lapses. Haven't had them tonight.
Oh, Evans didn't get the best of passes. Oh, what about the king there? What a juggling effort by Gutherson. They meant to do that, just showing off. Brown on this run. Lodge across with McCulloch. 38-10, 6.5 to go. Gower tackles himself. From halfway, Moses will bomb. And Boyd steady with it for Brisbane. I say running metres for the Broncos. Wingers nowhere near their Parramatta rivals tonight. Oates and Isako nowhere near the input. Isako with the ball. 29 from their own line. Lodge now hoping to pass. He's attracting defenders. There's the run meters tonight. The 2 wingers for Parramatta are up in the top 4. With Ferguson top of the heap. Little chip over the top. Ferguson. There's lots of back. Play on. Boyd with a bit of soccer skills. Sevo. Going to go back for a knock on from Ferguson.
It's a knock on up there. There's no advantage.
Yeah, in that list of players that we just saw on the meters made, a couple of players. Manu Ma'u, who's only played 7 games for the Eels this year, and the other one was Nathan Brown, also on that list, getting up over 150 metres. They're 2 players that will be the cornerstone of this Eels pack going forward for the rest of the year if they can stay on the field.
And it's only Nathan Brown's 3rd game back in 2019.
Yeah, very little football from those 2 players. Experienced, leaders, and talented.
Well, Brown has actually played more minutes tonight than he'd previously played so far this season. Because of the torn pec, he'd had only 62 minutes of football under his belt. It was 18th minute of round 1. The things went nasty for him.
Yeah, off the bench last week against the Sharks, starting tonight's game.
Lodge, and lovely ball away, Shibasaki. That was from young O'Sullivan, was it? Or Gillett, and Brisbane, Savo! Well, he can score him and he can save him.
What an effort from Sevo. It was a lovely pass, Gillett. They played short. He went through the line. Shibasaki showed great turn of foot. Gutherson never gave up, but it's Sevo. A diving effort.
Rover, you've earned your keep tonight. What a shot here on Fox League. That's one Dally M point for Rover. That is a beautiful shot. of a fabulous moment there. Exciting stuff.
Well, a couple of times tonight, Shibasaki showed just how quick he was. He is. And it was a backhanded ankle tap from Clint Gutherson that I think saved the day. Shibasaki showed great balance to stay on his feet. Sivo was there to finish him off before he got to the try line. Great ball from Gillett.
So Eels with the ball. Evans. .25 away from their own line, the Eels. And again, I say, I think fans want one more.
Fossey, just an update on Josh Hoffman, and we always tread on the cautious side with these type of injuries. But an ambulance has just been called. He'll be taken to a nearby hospital. We've just spoken to the Parramatta medical staff. They are pretty confident everything is going to be fine. It is nothing more than precautionary, they hope. So initially the news pretty good for Josh Hoffman and those worrying about him presently, but he will be off to hospital very shortly.
Well done, Andy. All the best to Josh as now Moses. Oh, there's a flick for Gutherson. Then there's a one-hander over the top. Then there's a kick from Niukore. Ball is back. Shillett almost lost it.
I've got the 10.
Jennings was so close.
There was that one more. Jeez, it was building. Mitchell Moses.
He's done a lot of good things tonight, hasn't he, Mitchell Moses? Nice little flick pass to Gutherson. The Broncos with a penalty.
Flick followed by one-hander, followed by
Kick back inside.
bench back rower putting kick through. The modern-day game of rugby league, it is the best sport on the planet. Ooh, Brown and Sewer shape up. Guns loaded. Halfway, Broncos in possession. They'll move it across to Flegler. 2 minutes to go, 38-10 on this Super Saturday on Fox League. And our next Super Saturday is something special. Shibasaki away to a leaping Osako, but rep round next weekend, the only place where you'll see all the matches from both Mount Smart and indeed Leichhardt Oval. We'll have the Women's Origin game for you on Friday night. As the NRL clubs enjoy a breather. Play the ball from McCulloch. Sullivan. Nice play. Maybe one last ball. It's Milford, kick and chase. And Gutherson's there. And now another.
Pin it in Parramatta. 10 metres.
Stone has ended up on the deck. Penalty goes Parramatta's way.
Well, Shibasaki, he still hasn't recovered from Sivo coming up and in. Got quick hands across to Osako, but geez, Sivo made him cop his medicine. His ribs are a little bit tender, I think.
Oh, gee. Milford was all over Raymond Stone there on the run through. His leg all twisted, Ray. Penalty had already been blown for Parramatta. So it'll be just a couple more tackles to play out in this one.
I think it might be one of your favourites, Fossey. Shift to shift back.
Okay, double shift. Shift. That's what we're calling for.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. No, not buying into the Gazing of Oz proposal.
Mitch Moses has said no.
Gutherson isn't either. It's a shiftless play. The Eels will have their 7th win. They sit 7-7. But it's heaven here at Bankwest Stadium for them because they're 4 from 5 here. They go for the lights. Very quickly, lights off and turn on a show. But really, all Parramatta tonight. It's a big win yet again. Brisbane have got some problems. Parramatta, 38, defeating the Brisbane Broncos 10.